Hi there, I'm Christina from hairromance.com, and today's video is all about what to do when you've got a lot of regrowth and you don't really want to see it. You might have seen my previous video where I talked about regrowth hiding strategies when you've got straight hair, but I've washed my hair and I thought I'd show you what to do if your hair is curly or wavy. Now my hair is probably about day 3 now, and in fact I'm actually about to go to the hairdresser's today, so I quickly wanted to jump on here because it doesn't matter if you have regrowth, but if it's something you're trying to hide, I wanted to show you with real regrowth in my hair and show you what I'm doing. You should definitely still watch the straight hair video because there is quite a little bit of overlap and I talk about hair colouring as well. But in this one I'm just going to focus on curly hair styling. So with curls, where you part your hair makes a really big difference. And so I always talk about this for getting volume in the top of your hair, and volume is key in this point because volume will hide your regrowth. The higher your hair, the less regrowth you'll see. So having more volume, especially on top and around your hairline, is going to disguise that regrowth. If your hair is sitting really flat and sitting straight down, you will definitely notice that exact gradation line of your regrowth. Whereas if it's sitting a little bit higher and round and up, that regrowth tends to sort of get hidden away and the focus is back on your curls. So I think that is when it's really key. I always think that when your hair is out, when your regrowth is really bad, just actually wearing your hair out is a little bit easier. There's so much more focus on your curls in themselves rather than the roots of your hair. Then when you've got your hair all pulled back, that's all you're going to see. So having more hair around your face definitely helps hide that regrowth. When creating your part line as well, don't ever take a straight line and definitely not a straight line back. With curls, I like to try and create a sort of meandering part line, not like a really strong zigzag part line, not like really 80s, 90s sort of style, but one that sort of moves around, where I'll take one, let me see, I'll just show you. So moving specific curls around so that you're creating a little bit more volume and shape at the top, which allows you then not to have a dead straight line to make a visible part line. Hiding it a little bit with your curls and moving them around will create a little bit more of a distraction. If you normally wear your part on this side, try switching it over to the other side. Not only will you have an instant volume lift in your hair, but you might just find that the regrowth looks worse on one side than the other. It can happen that one side grows more than the other, or you have a different colour patch of hair, like I tend to have more grey on one side than the other. So things like that will make a bit of a difference too. With regrowth, I do find a centre part a little bit harder to do because they're usually longer and straighter. I think if you want to have a centre part, having a really short part is key, so that you just have a very small section here in front where your hair is going across to the centre and then the rest of your hair goes back. Colour toners are a really great way of hiding regrowth, no matter what hair type you have. If you're blonde or pink, I don't really know what colour my hair is at the moment, but definitely when you've gone blonde or even have any highlights in darker hair, doing a blonde toner is hugely transformative. Be that a purple shampoo, an actual colour product, any kind of semi-permanent rinse on your hair will really just knock the colour back to neutral, because what you do with a colour toner is you go, think of the colour wheel and you want to kind of add the opposite colour. So if your hair's looking kind of orange, using a blue-based toner works really well. If your hair's looking really yellow, going for a purple-based toner. And that really knocks those colours out of your hair that we consider like brassy or looking a little bit flat and not looking as fresh as when we've just left the salon. Using a blue or purple-based colour toner will then help you bring your hair back to more of a neutral base and it looks more like you've just left the salon. A quick fix I mentioned in my other video are hair colour sprays. These products like Colour Wow can work really well just to paint on colour on your roots. But with curls, we don't have as much of a straight part line. They can work quite well. I use a little bit of blush when my hair is pink like this just to colour in along the roots that I find works well. But that can be a really good quick fix if you just want to colour up one specific part of your hairline. But let's talk about some hairstyles that will really help hide your regrowth. I love using accessories to distract from my regrowth, and anytime I'm needing a haircut or anything like that. Using a hair accessory adds some interest and people will be more distracted by the accessory than by your hair, and they can kind of work together just to make it more intentional and more fun. I've got some really simple styles to show you now for how to wear a scarf in your curly hair. And if you want more, you can click on my extra video for bonus styles. Using your scarf as a headband is a great first style. I like to separate my hair from around about my ears forward. because the headband itself is not going to be holding my hair off my face. I don't want to be showing my hairline, so I want that hair around my face to disguise it. So bringing the scarf up between those front sections, and tying it up on top of my head. Now from here you can do a bow or a turban style knot, and personally I prefer to do a sort of larger knot and then tuck the ends in. Then you can also just adjust how your curls are sitting, pull them down to cover. And I also like just to sort of spread little sections over the part that way, creating less of a visible part in front of my scarf. Seriously, such a simple style, but I think it really helps to add more volume to your hair, add a little bit of interest, and hide your part line as well. For this next style, I'm going to create a faux fringe and a bun. Now my hair's a little bit shorter, so I haven't tried this since I've had a haircut, so let's see how it goes. I'm going to pull all my hair back into a high ponytail and get it as high as possible. And then depending on the length of your hair, how much hair you can get forward to be a fringe, that you can have it a little bit further back if you've got longer hair, or shorter hair you might want to bring it right on top like I am. And I'm just using an Invisibobble, or you could use a hair bungee to secure that in place. Now I've got quite thick hair, so I'm going to move some of my hair back to create a bun sort of pony shape here, and just some of the curls forward to create a fringe. It's also known as bangs. Sometimes I say fringe or bangs kind of interchangeably because I'm Australian. Sort of like this, and then we're going to take our scarf again. This is a vintage scarf I've had for a long time, but it's a square shape, around about this length square, and I start by folding it diagonally and then in half, so that we're getting sort of like a long rectangle or long shape this way, and then roll it up just a little bit more. And I don't roll it too narrow, I like it to be kind of thick so that you're actually able to cover up more of your hair at the back here too. So then I take that thicker part here and bring it around carefully here, just tying it over the front of my hair. And then around into a cute little knot. I'm going to tuck these in at the end, but I just like to adjust everything first. Now, depending on how long your curls are here at the back, you can pin this bun in place a little bit more and then adjust how your fringe is sitting. And then when you're happy with your fringe, just tuck the ends of the scarf in. Now, my fringe is looking kind of funny actually. I don't love this one as much today. I'll tell you what, some days this works out so well in my curls, and today I'm sort of a bit like, it's a bit like flicking up. I feel like I'd want to restyle some of these curls, and I could grab a curling wand and just style a few around, or even pin a few down in place. I reckon if I spent a bit of time just actually moving these around, it could work a bit better. I think it's because it's bananaing off at the sides here. These ones that aren't working. I think it looks cuter when it's just at the top here. Yeah, actually that's already looking a little bit better. So if at first with this style, I like to show you exactly how it's going to work out, not just make it perfect the first time, because to be honest, the first time you try it, it's never going to work out perfectly. Maybe sometimes, but keep having a go and keep playing until you get it sitting exactly the way you like it. But so yeah, I kind of like this one now. I think there was those bits on the side that were a bit too much for me. And I could even pin this bun a bit smaller, but I'm going to keep it nice and big. And a trick, if you've got any curls that are sticking out, you can slightly back comb them a little bit to get them to hold in a little bit tighter, or just some bobby pins will do that as well. The thing I love about having a faux fringe like this is it looks really great if you've got to do any video calls, or you're just doing face-to-face meetings online like this. It's a great cover when you can't get to the salon, but you just want to have a fresh look with your hair. You can also try that faux fringe look with just half your hair, taking just the front section of your hair and moving it around. You can just pin a little section in place here, and then taking the same sort of scarf, or I'm going to use a rectangular scarf for this one. And then leave that loose or create more of like a bow or a knot. I kind of like it kind of just loose actually, it's cute. And again, just have a little play with your fringe until you get it sitting exactly where you like it. Can use a little bit of styling powder or hairspray to hold it in place as well. Not only is this a great way to decide if you really want to have a fringe, but it's a fun way to cover up your regrowth and try a new style at the same time, with no risk. Instead of having all your hair back like this, where you can really see a strong regrowth line all around my hairline, bringing part of it forward and almost sort of angling it around helps cover that up. So you can do this in a few different ways, and it's really kind of going to depend on your curls, but you can bring a section from a little bit further back in your part and bring it around, not so much creating a fringe, but just creating a little bit of a cover, which you can then cover up with curls here on the side. Not quite a 2007 flat fringe, but you might almost sort of be heading that way if you don't pin it with a little bit of volume. And the trick to pinning with a little bit of volume is to use that, find that section, put your pin through, and then push it back up this way to hold it in place. If you're pinning it down that way, you're going to pull it tighter. By pushing it this way, you're going to create a little bit more volume and be able to disguise that part line without it looking too flat and too much reminiscent of my old photos. You know what I'm talking about, well, maybe it's just me. But yeah, covering it up that way can help you do that and still maintain that nice sort of volume on top without it feeling too fake. And you can use this technique of pinning sections just to sort of cover your regrowth and angle it around your hairline if you're doing a bun or a braid as well. From there you could bring your hair around to create a cute little side bun, pinning your curls up loosely around this way. I think that could be really cute. Or a side ponytail. There's so many variations, and so I think once you realize that no one is looking at your regrowth as much as you are, there's so many options of different hairstyles you can try. I know most of us haven't been able to get to the hairdresser, but there is a light at the end. In Australia, we've been very lucky and restrictions are starting to ease. I'm going to my hairdresser this afternoon and I cannot wait to go back and see them. And when yours opens up, I'm sure they would love you to come back and support them. And try not to do anything too permanent while you're in isolation that will be either expensive or difficult to fix when you get back to the salon. Remember, it doesn't matter if your regrowth is showing. Wear a headband, wear a hat, just have fun with your hair. Thanks so much for watching, and over on hairromance.com I've got lots of hair care tips and more tutorials, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.